Hey guys, what's up? Mike here. Today's Wednesday, new comic book day, and I have a couple of uh, things to review. Actually, something special that came out that I've been really looking forward to has is Avengers versus X-Men, and the first issue, not issue one, but issue zero, the Prelude, um, came out. I, I have actually the Jim Chung variant, the wraparound variant. I did not get the Frank Cho Hope coming out of vagina. I got the Frank Chung variant. There it is. I guess let me. So yeah, great artwork. Like, really like it actually. And I I hunt the couple. I actually go to three different comic book stores in New York. I live in New York. Um, I visit three different ones, and sometimes variants are priced differently at each of them. So the one I went to tonight, since it was so late when I picked up comics, actually had this for a pretty decent price actually. So I picked it up. So, before I actually review this comic book, this book, I wanted to address some things. I actually got a message, a comment on one of my videos, Avengers Extinction number 4, about someone who watched it didn't really get the whole Hope Summers thing. And before Avengers vs. X-Men starts, or officially starts, I'm going to go into, this is going to be Marvel 101, with me, Mike. Just sort of distracting, I'm watching a replay of the next game. Um, so, yes, Marvel 101. So I'm gonna go through quickly on this video, and if I have time, I'll review this. But the history of the Scarlet Witch, Hope Summers, and basically, if you don't really know much about comic books or continuity and things like that, um, I'm gonna catch you up a little bit. I'm not claiming to be an expert. There's probably gonna be things I overlook. But I'm gonna give you the basic gist and rundown of who the characters are, and maybe when Avengers vs. X-Men come out, I'll maybe go through a quick rundown on each character, which whoever's focused on in the books, especially since there's gonna be Avengers versus X-Men, the main series, Avengers versus X-Men, and then there's gonna be the fight time books, AVX, which is just AVX, just a fight book. So maybe I'll go into some in-depth character analysis and who they are and what they do. But so Marvel 101, the Scarlet Witch. So the Scarlet Witch is a mutant. Whoops. Um, that that what you call it? She's a mutant. She's the daughter of Magneto and the she's Quicksilver's sister. And so and Polaris. I forgot Polaris. So it's part of their family. So she's part of the Avengers. She's been part of. I don't know if she's been part of the X-Men, but she's been part of the Avengers. She's I think mostly part of the Avengers. So basically, she was born. Yada yada, and she well, how do I describe this? She first emerged in comics as a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, Magneto's Brotherhood, who were working towards dominating the world. Um, but however, she joined the Avengers later on, and no, because her powers aren't very, and her powers are very interesting. Her powers are actually she has the ability to manipulate probability, sort of like Domino, but in Domino's case, Domino has to actively try to manipulate a probability. For example, um, Domino when she's trying to if she's getting shot out, Domino just can't stand there and make the bullets miss. She has to actively run away or try to dodge the bullets, and they will miss her because of her powers. But the Scarlet Witch, she casts she I guess she's both magical and a mutant, sort of like Pixie, I guess Pixies or Magic, the mutant Magic. Um, she has the ability to alter reality, and she has the ability to manipulate probability. So if she lets her powers get out of control, bad shit happens. Bad things happen. So basically, she's been a member of the Avengers for a long time, but so she eventually she marries the Vision, Scarlet Witch. She marries the Vision, and what happens is that her kids are killed, and her children are Speed and a Wiccan of the young Avengers. Um, so her kids are killed, the Scarlet Witch, and she goes mad, and as a result, she sort of I guess her mind breaks, and she and her powers just go wild, and she tries, and the Vision, like, her kids are dead, Vision's dead, her mind just shatters, and she basically alters reality, creating what is known as House of M. In House of M, basically, she made it as if mutants were the dominant species on the planet, and that the yeah, so humans were a minority. Humans were the ones that were hunted and persecuted by the mutants. And in this world, a lot of things were different. Spider-Man was married to Gwen Stacy, so Spider-Man's daughter was never born. All the human heroes, they're freedom fighters and things like that. Um, and a whole bunch. And Magneto was the supreme ruler of the world. Hence, House of Magneto, and his family was part of that. Um, so basically, what happens is a couple of mutants actually get their memories restored during House of M, and they attack um, Wanda and Magneto, and they think it was Magneto who orchestrated this, that orchestrated Wanda, changing the world, but it wasn't actually um, Magneto's fault. It was it was Wanda and who did it, but it's not Magneto. It was Quicksilver who sort of convinced her to do this. So basically, Magneto, in his rage, kills Quicksilver in this world, and Wanda is upset that Magneto would place, just random mutants, even though, over his own children, and then Wanda, in her rage, said three words that are infamous in the Marvel universe: "No more mutants." And this shattered reality to the point where currently in the Marvel universe, 99% of the mutants population died, and it's now referred to as M Day. Um, so there's less than 300 mutants alive. A lot of mutants were depowered, and that's why the mutants now they were, as the X-Men were, they were once stationed in what you call it, New York, but now they're in California. Well, they were all in California on Utopia, their island, like, their island nation, which is basically, a refuge for all the mutants in the world, because you know um, using Cerebro, the X-Men can locate mutants, and there's only blips, small blips around the world, and it's mostly concentrated on Utopia. So the Scarlet Witch, she sort of teabags the Earth, and she went missing. A lot of people thought she died. Um, and she a lot of people thought she died, but they find her, who is they found out that she's missing, like, and she doesn't really and so basically she goes missing, essentially. A lot of people wonder where she is. There's a whole weird arc where Hawkeye and Beast find her and try to make her turn back and do whatever. She doesn't remember, regardless. So then came Avengers, the Avengers Children's Crusade. Basically, the Young Avengers, two of them, Wiccan and Speed, they were they they were convinced that the Scarlet Witch is their mother, because the only other speedster that they closely resemble the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver in terms of powers. Speed, he runs really fast. He looks sort of like Magneto, and Quicksilver, and Wiccan does magic stuff. So they go look for her. Um, basically they they basically they find out that Wanda was that they find her, but it's not really her. It's a Doombot, and this leads them to believe that the Scarlet Witch is with Doctor Doom, and and there's a lot of things. The Avengers show up, the X Men show up. They're gonna kill Scarlet Witch. They're fighting over whose jurisdiction. Basically, Doctor Doom gets all powerful. She takes its power back. And basically, it resolves to as the X Men promising they will kill that they will kill the Scarlet Witch. They will never forgive her for what she's done, and that she will always be an enemy. I guess to the mutants, if I remember, because this came out like last month, and the last issue, Children's Crusade. You know, it's um, yeah. So it's basically, they will never forgive her for the pain and suffering she's caused. So that's basically the history of the Scarlet Witch. I skipped all over a lot of stuff. It was like basically that's Scarlet Witch, born Magneto's daughter, joined the Avengers, went crazy, killed all the mutants, came back, and is now trying to redeem herself. And the first part, there's actually two stories. This is actually a book split into two different stories. One's focusing on the Scarlet Witch, and the other focusing on Hope Summers. Now I'm gonna talk about Hope Summers. Now Hope Summers. A lot of people, a couple of people actually were confused about, um, who Hope Summer is, what Hope Summer's backstory is, how is she an adult or a teenager now, when in X Sanction you saw her as a child in the future. Okay. For those who watch Doctor Who, or watch my Spider-Man reviews, you have to realize that in the Marvel universe, time isn't, if you watch Doctor Who, time isn't, cause and effect in a straight line. Time is more fluid than that. Time. There's, it's just crazy. Time is a big ball of shenanigans. Um, so Hope. All right, this is the story behind Hope Summer. So after the Scarlet Witch went crazy and all that good stuff, the mutants they took refuge on Utopia, and because of what she said, no more mutants. She killed a lot of them. There's only 300 left, less than 300 actually, and basically what happens is that no mutants have been born since then, since House of M, which occurred in comic books like 2004, 2005 ish. If I remember correctly, I have actually some of the issues around my house somewhere. Um, and so one day, the Professor Xavier, um, he senses something using Cerebro, and um, so 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 basically they sense a mutant being born in um in whatchamacallit, what's this place? Alaska, Cooperstown, Alaska. A mutant, like, there's a mutant that was just born, and this is like holy shit. This is the first mutant born since M Day. We're gonna go see what this is all about. They get there. The town is on fire. People are dead. Like the shit has gone. Shit has gone down. And at the same time, Cyclops has Wolverine doing this Black Ops shit. X Force before this Uncanny X Force, there was a different reiteration of X Force, led by Wolverine, consisting of X-23, his clone or slash daughter, Warpath. I believe Domino was on the team too. Wolfsbane. I think Elixir was also on the team. He heals them. I think Caliban, he was their teleporter for a little bit. I think that's Caliban's power. I don't remember what Caliban's power was. I think Caliban was part of X Force. But and Archangel, Metal Wing Archangel. So the basic gist is this that happens. So Wolverine's tracking this girl, and we find out that Cable has her. Cable, Nathan, Nathan Summers, Cyclops, and Jean Grey's son. He takes the baby and he's hunted by not only the X Men, but by Mister Sinister, and Bishop. All right, so basically, this is the first baby born since M Day. So this baby is like the Jesus of the mutants. She's the Messiah. She's considered the mutant Messiah. But there's a lot of different things going on. Mr. Sinister wants to experiment on her because she's the first mutant born since M Day, so she's super special like that. He wants to know what's so special about her that makes her tick. The X Men want to take her to raise her and train her and some typical X Men shit. Um, Cable takes her to protect her from all the bad crap going on, and Bishop wants to kill her. Bishop, he thinks this girl is the mutant Antichrist, that she will destroy the world, yada yada yada. Um, so it ends up in um, with the X Men coming to terms that let like Scott Summers, he holds this baby and he sees the choices he's made as a father with Nathan, that he would never see. He had to let his son go off into the future as a baby to heal him. He would never see his son again. He would never get to be a real father. And then his wife dies 5 billion times. That's all Jean Grey does, is die. And these other nonsensical flashbacky shit. And as the leader of the X-Men, he makes a decision. He says, Nathan, take the baby. Take to the baby. Be what I could never be. Be a father. Let her make her own choices about who she will be. Not Don't let us decide. So this is what happened. Nathan Summers, Cable, has the ability to go into the future. So basically, he goes into the future. He time leaps. So him and Hope leave the universe, leave Marvel. They jump straight into the future. So he raises her in the future, which is why we see so many flashbacks of her as a child, but in the future. And then Bishop is hunting them through time and stuff. Um, and she eventually comes back with Cable to the past. But at the same time, now she's not only being hunted by Bishop, but she's being hunted by Cable's clone Strife, and some other mutant monster guy. I forgot his name, but and so she's being hunted down. They managed to make it back to to present day Marvel. So when she comes back to present day Marvel, she is a teenager. Because she grew up already, and she time leaps backwards to the past. To present day Marvel, which is her past, or the past for her. Um, so growing up in the future, she was raised by Cable. She learned how to fight and stuff. And in Second Coming, at the age of 16, Cable brought her back to the Xavier Institute for Higher Learning. Basically, brought back to San Francisco because he's been missing for 16 years. Cable has not because the X-Men relocated to Utopia. He doesn't know that. So X-Force, they're being chased by Bastion. And Bastion, a mutant. I think he controls Sentinels or something like that. So Cable manages to take they manage to get the girl back to Utopia, but a lot of people die because of her. There's just deaths, and like Nightcrawler dies in Second Coming. Cable sort of died in Second Coming, but he really didn't apparently. But regardless, she was brought back, and she's viewed as a mutant messiah. And the moment she gets back to after the whole nonsense went down in Second Coming, 5 new lights appear on Cerebro, showing 5 new mutants emerging, and which leads up to now. So I know it's a little confusing, because a lot of people are just confused. Time isn't like, oh, she's an adult now, so she can't be a child in the future. That's not how it works. She removed herself from the timeline, grew up in the future, and then time warp back to present day Marvel. Simple and clear. Um, but that's just some Marvel 101 for you guys. I think I should talk about the Phoenix Force, but I don't really don't want to. That's just a confused that confuses the crap out of me too. The Phoenix Force. But I do have a couple of questions about that. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna explain the Phoenix Force. So the Phoenix Force. This is what this whole Avengers vs X Men is. What is the Phoenix Force? The Phoenix Force is this cosmic entity that exists within Marvel. Um, so the Phoenix Force. Um, Hold on. The Phoenix Force is this cosmic entity that is in the shape of a big firebird. Um, and the only way to describe it as is basically an immortal entity that represents life, current and future life. And it whenever it's on Earth, it always chooses a host to live on, and it gives the host extraordinary power. Um, so the first host that we there's been tons of hosts. One of the hosts, the most known host is Jean Grey. So when Jean Grey was a child, she was actually chosen by the Phoenix Force, and and no, Jean was she's an extraordinarily powerful mutant. Um, so while they were in space, coming back from the space station, Jean was the only one that could save them flying through radiation, and she does it, but she dies of radiation poisoning. But when she was dying, the Phoenix Force decided to offer to save her, and it did. It made a new body for her, and you know, um, and placed her at the bottom of the ocean so she could recover. And then Phoenix sort of died, or like Jean was missing, and then she came back. Jean Grey. Um, so Jean Grey was the first host of the Phoenix Force on Earth. And you know she's gone evil. She's a couple times. But basically, and she's come back a lot. Jean Grey, the Phoenix Force. But the Phoenix Force basically comes to Earth, and it likes to destroy shit, and it likes to, it's a creature of rebirth and destruction. Because to have something reborn, you got to break some shit. So throughout the Marvel universe, there's been lots of hosts for the Phoenix Force. One of them is Rachel Gray, Rachel Summers, Rachel Gray, Jean Grey's daughter. Um, she's been a host for the Phoenix. Jean, she comes a lot. She comes back a lot. Jean gets reborn a lot. The Cuckoos, and uh, let's see who else. Off the top of my head, I think Nate Gray has been the Phoenix Force. Nate Gray, Spider-Man did it in a What If once. Emma Frost, but she couldn't handle it. As I said, only certain mutants are chosen because they are for some reason. So so it's also so what this thing is because of what the Phoenix Force represents. I mean, it because of the Phoenix Force, Jean Grey is dead, and you know her fate is unknown right now. I mean, Marvel likes to bring her back once in a while. She's been brought back a lot. But now the Phoenix Force is returning to Earth, and it's coming for Hope Summers. They all know it's coming for Hope Summers. Um, and the main deal is that this bird, whenever it comes, it brings death and destruction. And the X Men want to use it, or Scott wants to use it. He wants to train Hope and use the Phoenix Force to because he senses there's a reason the Phoenix always comes back here to Earth, to the X Men, because it they they're chosen. Someone, there's a reason for it, and Hope being chosen, because she's the Messiah, but there's also the chance that she could destroy the world. And the Avengers want to stop the Phoenix Force. They're gonna try to stop it from coming to Earth. They're gonna try to stop it in space, but if it does reach Earth, they want to team up the X Men and stop it from doing anything. But you see, that's the problem. I guess the X Men want to use it, the Avengers don't. So that's why they clash over it. And you know, my main the questions I have is that it seems that the Phoenix Force likes Jean Grey and it likes the bloodline, I guess. And now that there are, Hope Summers, we don't know who her parents are. We don't know anything really about her before she was born. But she does look like Jean Grey a little bit. And she does have an interesting power. Hope Summers, her power is mimicry. Basically, she can mimic any power a mutant, if it's a mutant, up to I think it's like an 80% efficiency. So Cyclops, she could mimic his eye blast, but only 8% as she can only use it only 8% as powerful as his. Um, so we you know now in the current Marvel universe right now in present day we have three of Jean Grey's children existing on one plane. We have Nathan Summers, aka Cable. We have Nathan Gray, aka X-Man, and we have Rachel Summers. So we have three of Jean Grey's children. So I'm interested to see why the Phoenix Force would choose Hope when it does have the pick of people who have the ability to be, who are Omega level mutants. And have two of them who have hosted the Phoenix Force before, Nate Gray and I think Rachel Summers and Rachel Gray and Nate Gray. They've hosted the Phoenix Force, and Cable's an Omega level mutant. Especially since he doesn't have the techno organic virus anymore, he is just shenanigans now. What he can do, he is a game changer if he is fighting for the X Men. Um, so it's interesting to see why they is gonna choose Hope. I hope they don't bring if they bring back Jean Grey. I'm done. I'm gonna be done. I'm like that is it for me. I'm just like, you know what? No more X Men, no more Avengers. I'm just gonna be Spider Man because they don't do stupid shit in that. They don't bring back Uncle Ben unless they should. If the Phoenix Force brings back Uncle Ben, that's a win. That's a ballsy move for Marvel. Um, but that's about it for this video. It's a little long. But thanks for watching. I hope I cleared up some questions. You got any more questions? Send me a message or post it down there. I'll answer them in a video. If anything about any comic book or questions about just anything, pop culture, comics, whatever it may be. Thanks for watching, guys. This video is really long, but I'll talk to you. I'll actually review this later, and have a good weekend, guys.